What is something you think people don't get about you and your work?
Who are you asking?
Everyone. All these questions are for everyone unless I specify.
Can you repeat the question?
What's something you think people don't get about you and your
Surprise,
work?
surprise.
There we
Surprise,
go.
surprise, good
Supplies,
experience in the
supplies. How you
house.
doing, buddy?
How's it
Good to
going?
see you, pal.
Good to see your
You
face,
say
man.
my name and I appear. Puff of magic. Ah!
He's
Well,
the magician now.
We had
Dexter,
old gone.
I was just going to say we were asked a question. Perhaps we can have you field this question.
Which was
Uh,
it?
Ice, would you mind repeating the question one last
Um,
time?
Something you think people don't get about you and your work.
Well, do you know what? I heard the last one before, and it reminded me of a time about 12 years ago when Mystery and I were doing loads of boot camps together. And he said, why don't you go and stay with Matador for a while? Go and stay with Matador in his house for a while. I think you'll learn a lot from each other. And he's one of the icons as well, VH1 pickup artist as well. And so I went and stayed with Matador for a while in LA, downtown in the big tower blocks, where it's real nitty gritty, but also good training grounds in the standard, the rooftop bars. And we got along famously. And I heard Matador can be quite tough to get along with, but I think if you've got game, you can keep up. And I remember at one point we did loads of stuff in that week. We were out every night, but the end of like 3 weeks, there was a super conference going on, and there were like, I don't know, 200, 300 people in there. And it was this Sunday coming up. And I remember Matador gets on stage. We've been out for weeks, remember, endlessly weeks, doing crazy stuff. And he comes on stage and he did a big speech. But the main bit of the speech I remember, and I'm at the front and I did a talk as well. And he said, pickup really saved me, really saved my life. And I know there was definitely tears coming down his eyes. And I remember he's the fucking one of the most alpha male guys you can ever meet. So you can't say that this was him being feminine. He was just speaking from the heart and the soul. And he said, "Pickup saved my life." And I felt that so deeply because it's something that I've very thought. Where would I be now? I'd be in a relationship with someone that I'm not interested in, or I won't know how to go out there and meet anyone. The world is blind to me. I can't go and talk to that person that I want to go and talk to over there. One set can change your life. That could be your future wife if you're inclined to get married. And I remember he's crying, and I felt that, and I turned around to the audience, and I was like, "Are people really going to understand what he means by this? Do you have to be in game quite a long time to understand?" And I tell you, half the room was in emotional state some way or another. They're either holding themselves, they're listening to him, and you couldn't even hear a brass snap at the end of the room. You couldn't hear it. It was silence. Everyone was so invested in that. And I thought, yes, that's exactly what it is. It's taking it back for yourself, having the power to go and speak to who you want to speak to, being a man in the way that you can attract women without being a fucking asshole, right? Because there's many people that have read the game, or they've been in game 10, 15 years, and they don't still get it. They think it's being rude, trying to be like this and arrogant and egotistical, and that is definitely not the way forward. It's not the alpha male, it's more the sigma male, or it's more being a person that has mixed Venusian arts, that can do anything in any situation. They don't need a harem of social proof behind them. Now that's good, that's something to work forward to, that's fifth level of game. But having to go, right, I'm on a plane, I'm in a bar, I'm in a park, I'm on the street, I'm in New York, I'm in London, I'm in Peru, and you can just turn it on and turn it off when you want to. And that's what I felt in that moment of Matador saying that. And that's why I knew anyway, that guy has got some serious game, because he has got a sigma, the alpha enough to go on stage and say how pickup saved his life and shedded a tear, because we've all been there, we've all felt it, and I know we have. And if you say you haven't, you're lying.
100%.
World-class pickup.
Yeah, don't be regional pickup. Don't just do it in your own home, and don't rely on having 20 girls with you, or even 2 or 1. Be able to do it for yourself, and everything else is a bonus. How you doing, Zan? Good to see you, brother. I ain't seen you since your birthday a couple of years ago.
That's true. I'm older now.
You look great, man, always. I know there's that painting in the attic that you can't touch, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you'll never grow old.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Any other perspectives on this? That was fascinating.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, what's the question?
It's a short question.
We get so distracted there.
It's a long
What's
story, though.
something you think people don't get about you and your work?
I'll say something quickly. People read, I wrote a book called The Alabaster Girl, and people read the book and they skim the tops. They say, oh, Zan talks about complimenting, talks about curiosity, talks about these great, and that's me. And I do all those things. So they double down and they become a nice guy. Because they think that, you know, that they only read the poetry on the top of what I tried to write. They don't ever, even though it's massively in there, and I talk about it all the time, is all I talk about is you gotta latch onto that danger element of you, that dark forest spirit, that desire to bend the world over. And which is what men are missing, this modern generation is missing. And they think that they read my stuff and they say, oh yeah, Zan says to do all these wonderful things, empathy, curiosity, respect. That's me. And they become a nice guy. And it's like, no, you're missing that. You have to have, if you're just a nice guy, or if you just have this upper energy, you're a nice guy, and women will date you, but that's it. They don't lust after you. They don't think about it. They don't fantasize about it. They don't play with their vibrator thinking of you. And if you're only, you know, the deeper, dark sexual energy, and it's not balanced with respect and kindness and empathy and curiosity and humor, then you're kind of aggressive and kind of invasive. So I think a lot of guys, I attract a lot of nice guys who think that, yeah, I've read your stuff, and you know, and resonate with it, but you're missing this desire, this danger element. So that's what they get wrong about me.
Would it be fair to say something along the lines of disagreeableness, or I don't know?
Yeah,
how do you explain it?
Guys are not horny, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. Testosterone is like falling off a cliff, as we know. But I talk in my lectures, or I talk on stage, and I'll say, you know, like, tap into that sexual energy. Guys say, how do I get more sexual energy? You watch a lot of porn all day long. Don't tell me you don't have it. You just hide your light under a bushel. And I'm thinking, tap into that, because that's how God created you. That's your, you know, nowadays it's, you know, toxic masculinity, and you shouldn't do that. Don't be offensive, whatever. I think that guys hear my stuff and they think it's more poetic and curiosity and these wonderful things, but I'm down and dirty, because women are down and dirty. Women are dirtier than we are. And I know this, and everybody gets it wrong, because they don't listen. They don't hear what I'm trying to say. No, they say, yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. I'm sexual. No, you're not. You know, you're not tapping into something that's primal and fundamental, which women are saying, okay, he's a nice guy, I'll date him 3 times, but I'm not interested. I'm not lusting after him. So anyway,
I agree. I think a lot of the most kinkiest situations I've been in a lot, is because women have orchestrated it or started it. It's not because of me. Now, I'm not saying I'm a nice guy. I'm a semi-erect guy. You know, I'm living in the indirect middle here somewhere. But women are the ones that grab you and say, take me now, do this, do that. And as you said, bend over. And I think really they want that, but they want it in the right way.
Yes.
You can't just take it.
It has to be respectful.
Mine. Yeah. You got to first do the attraction. You got to build a bit of this comfort, and then the seduction unfolds in front of you. And
if
that's
guys only knew what women are thinking, right?
Yeah.
If guys only knew what women are thinking. Like
Well,
they'd be shocked. They'd be shocked to their core if they knew what women are really fundamentally thinking all the time.
I mean, if you go back and you look at how many girlfriends that we've all had, right? And the amount of things that they've said to you, and then thinking they can't be the only one saying it. No, they're all saying it. You just got to
no,
tap
yeah.
in.
To throw on top of what you say, I absolutely agree. I'm not going around thinking I want to pee in a woman's mouth, but when a woman says, "Can you pee in my mouth?" I'm like, "Oh, you know what? That's interesting." First time it happens. Never done it before. Okay. It's like I'm not going around proposing that situation. It just fucking got
We're not going to
initiated by
cut to
someone
video,
else.
are we? Are we cutting to video of this now? Or what's going on?
This is live and everything is going to be shown.
Fair enough.
Just only show the top half of your body, okay? Last
I will
episode
not
we had a
stand
guy.
up. I will not stand up.
We had a random guy who was not a panelist. I opened it up to one random guys who wanted to call in. One of them gave a tour of his house and just showed his penis on camera.
Oh,
So we're never doing that again. We're just sticking to coaches now. But anyway,
That's a different type of boot camp, isn't it?
yeah, the stay-at-home boot camp where you just troll people all day.
The keyboard jockey slong along.
Exactly. Anyway, great point. Everyone want to jump off of Baxter's point, like I did, the pee in your mouth, pee in my mouth thing.
Yeah, that wasn't my comment.
I didn't suggest that. I didn't suggest it, but when that becomes suggested to you, you're like, oh, she's into that, or yeah, it's funny.
Well, it brings up a thought of creating the boyfriend-girlfriend frame. You get the girl back to your place and you say, why don't you go wash up? I'm going to close the curtains. And she goes to wash up like she would if she were in a relationship with you. And then you go and wash up and say, why don't you light the candles while I go wash up? And so why are you two washing up? It's presumed that it's a girl-boy dynamic. You set the frame that this is boyfriend-girlfriend type behavior, and they fall into the frame because they've been through it before.
I'll throw something on top of the original question, which was what's something that people don't understand about you, or what's something that people get wrong about you, or something you wish people knew. Something that I learned from Mystery, and I believe other mentors in my life have tried to get this through to me as well, but I let people think what they want of me. People have said good things and bad things about me, and I just sort of like art, let people perceive me as they will. And I think I used to think a little bit more about, I bet this person thinks this, or I bet this person thinks this about me. And now I just kind of, like a piece of art, I just am who I am, and I let people interpret me the way they want. So I will clarify occasionally and stick up for myself if I really need to. But for the most part, I try not to think through that frame as often as possible.